of this year, the Great India Quiz. This is the seventh edition of the Great India Quiz that we've been doing with Dr. Naveen Jayakumar. Uh, got it. Right. So we'll begin. It's 12:03 this year. The great. Just a second. All right. Welcome, Bertie and Sukada. You've been on the panel for many quizzes with India Wants to Know. Thank you so much for doing this. And of course, Dr. Naveen, I know this is a little last minute, but is this also your last open quiz, folks? All three of you?
Yes, for this year. Yeah.
Hopefully, yes. if I've forgotten about a quiz which I'm supposed to do on 28th, 29th, yeah, it's too late for me to start now.
For me, it's definitely this year. There are a couple of ones coming up in Jan, but I'm pretending it's next year. There's a lot of time to do it.
Smart.
All right. Just give me a second. I'm just promoting Vedang as well. Vedang, are you here? Yeah, Vedang is also here. Right, so we're going to do this quiz on Kahoot, where the question is going to appear on the Zoom screen. Dr. Naveen will read out the question. You need to answer on Kahoot. Ignore the pounds and chat. We're going to skip that. We're just going to do Kahoot. For every question, you're going to get 60 seconds. Right, so you need to answer your question within those 60 seconds on Kahoot and read the question on Zoom. Right, what we're going to do right now is that you are going to get a game pin in a few minutes. Once you get that game pin, all you have to do is just two steps. Go to kahoot.it, not kahoot.com, kahoot.it. Enter the game pin that we're going to share with you. And the second step is entering your registered name. That's all. It's fairly simple. Two steps. Just enter the Kahoot ID and the Kahoot name. The question will only appear on Zoom. You have to answer only on Kahoot. Type in the answer and submit it before the time runs out. Now, for all questions, this is the scoring. Maximum 1,000 points, maximum of 60 seconds. Your score is based on two criteria, obviously being correct and how soon you give the answer in. Right, we will review the answer. So this is how typically a question or an answer works. So you get points based on how correct you are and the time that you sent in. Right, and we will review the question. So if there are answers which are close to the right answer, we will review the answers and give you points as well. Right, the answers will be displayed on the screen once the time runs out. Please do not use the Q&A option on Zoom to send in your answers. Okay, so we're going to have 4 rounds of a very exciting quiz. So the first round is fairly simple, dry questions. The second round has some innovative new formats we have tried this year under India Wants to Play, called Mishmash and Only Connect. And then we go back to rapid fire questions without any fun facts and discussions, and finally end with the last round. All right, Vedang, if you're able to hear me, just tell me the game pin, please. Can you just put it in chat?
Yep. Okay, so the game pin is 3067507.
Okay, just type it in, please, on the chat so everyone can log in. So everyone, this is the game pin. If you have any questions, do let us know on chat. Participants, if you can just let us know if it's clear, if you're able to log in. Just give us a minute, folks, while waiting for everyone to log in. Okay, it looks like some people are facing issues. So we're going to switch the format directly to a classical format. You just need to send in your answers on chat to the host and panelists, right? So you can just test it out. Just tell us your name and which city you're logging in from so that we know this works. We're going to not do Kahoot today. Vedang and Aditya, if you can just coordinate on the scoring bit. Thank you, Ishita. Right. So simple change in rules. Hey, Ananta, thank you so much for texting us on chat. So the rule is the format is going to be much more simpler. You just need to send in your answers on Zoom chat alone. Don't use the Q&A option, please. The Q&A option will be visible to everyone, so it's just helping everyone else. And yeah, fairly simple. Vinod from Bangalore. Great. Let's begin. Naveen, take it over, please.
Thank you, Sai, and welcome once again to probably the last edition, as Sai said, for this year, the Great India Quiz. And thank you for inviting me, Sai. It's been a fun journey, I would say, with you and all the panelists so far that I've attended with. I think we started this year on a slightly more optimistic note with the vaccines around the corner. Yes. And then we got hit by the Delta, and now we have the vaccines, and now we are hit with Omicron. So rather on an uncertain note, so to a question as to when is this all going to end, we don't have the answers to that. And probably the scientists' answer slightly better than the fortune teller on the road. But we do have all correct answers to the next 15 questions or so that follow for this quiz. So sit back and enjoy the Sunday morning for the next hour and 15 minutes, hopefully. Do chip in with comments, fun, trivia, facts, or alternative facts. All are welcome. And let's get proceeding. Sai, shall we move on to the first question? Yeah. And also thank you, Bertie and Sukhada, for joining me. This is the first time I'm interacting with Sukhada. Nice to meet you, Sukhada. And Bertie, of course, we've been old hands at this, I guess I would say. Okay. Right. So here comes the first question of the 7th episode of the Great India Quiz, brought to you by India Wants to Know. And this is it. This is a connect. So you have 3 pictures with a little bit of text clues under each of them. So the first clue is the rabbit mascot of the inaugural. So Ishita, you need to answer on the chat. Am I correct, Sai?
Yes.
Chat. Answer on the chat, not on the Q&A. What connects all of them? The rabbit mascot of the Kerala Olympic Games 2021, a stadium in the premises of the Army Sports Institute in Pune, and the logo of AFI, and the date says August 7th of 2021.
Once we get in the answers, we'll go to someone on direct to hear the answer on audio. We'll close pounds in next.
For those of them who are taking part for the first time, could you tell them a little about raising their hands part of it?
Sure. So the format is very simple. What you need to do is send in your answers on chat, after which we will go to people randomly who have raised hands. So you need to raise hand on Zoom. So if you're using the Zoom app or the Zoom desktop app, you can still see this option to raise hand. So you'll notice that XR25 Venugopal and Rajaram Suresh have already raised their hands, right? First benchers. And we'll go to them and we'll hear the answers. The points essentially is that there are no negatives. You get 10 points for every correct answer that you send in on chat. the direct is just for an interaction bit where we'll hear the answers from one of the participants, and then of course hear fun facts from Bertie and Sukhada as well. All right, let's go to. I think everyone sent in the answers. Ishita, if you can hear us, please. Ishita.
Ishita, can you unmute and?
Okay, let's go to Anandita.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi,
Anandita.
Anandita, hi.
Hi,
Sai.
Dr. Jacob.
Hi. Can you hear me now?
Hi, Sai. Yep,
Yes.
I
Hello.
We
can.
can hear both of you. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I'm actually using my daughter's laptop. This is Raj. Ishita's my daughter.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Hi,
I'm
Raj.
using my daughter's tab. Hi. So can I take a short
Please.
the answer?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the overall connect is Neeraj. The mascot of the Kerala Olympic Games is named Neeraj. August 7th has been declared as the Javelin Throw Day in honor of Neeraj Chopra. And I think the AFI Stadium is where he was felicitated. I can see Rajnath Singh in the picture if I zoom in.
Okay, I think you got the tougher part, which is the August 7th. Your answer is correct, of course.
And AFI is also hosting a javelin event on August 7th in honor
I
of
see.
Neeraj.
Okay. Would anyone else like to add that second visual in the middle? A little more.
I think the
Yeah.
stadium is named after Neeraj Chopra now. It's
And
called Neeraj
yes,
Chopra.
yes, Anindita. That's the missing piece of the jigsaw puzzle here. And the answer, of course, as all of you must have got it, was Neeraj Chopra. And August 7th was declared as the National Javelin Day, as has been correctly pointed out by our participants. So there you go. Neeraj to be mascot for the first Kerala Olympic Games. The Army Sports Stadium in Institute in Pune is named after Neeraj Chopra, and of course the Javelin Throw Day. Bertie, Sukhada, anything else to add to this? I'm not sure. I think there are some other stadiums which also have been named after Olympic players. I'm sure Dhyan Chand and all must have been having stadiums named after them. Does anyone else in the audience have anything to add? Any other fun facts about this or Neeraj Chopra?
A very, very fun fact is Neeraj Chopra is the first male athlete to be on the cover of Vogue India.
Oh, that's very interesting.
That is a fun fact. That's interesting to know.
And he has a lot of fans. Absolutely.
Okay.
No
Geeta
doubt
has
about that.
raised, again, there's one more hand raised. Sai, could you just
Sure,
identify
just-
someone?
I think that's Raj in the disguise
Raj,
of.
yes. Raj is.
Raj, you have anything to add on this? In the meanwhile, we had an interesting fun fact that our team picked up, which is that Abhinav Bindra gifted Neeraj Chopra a puppy called Tokyo.
Oh, that's nice. Very thoughtfully named. Very thoughtfully.
I just wanted to add a.
Please.
Oh,
Yes, go ahead.
So, well, it's got nothing to do with Neeraj Chopra, but it got to do with javelin. So obviously he has a world record right now. But javelin is one of those very interesting athletic events where there's already a world record which cannot be beaten and forever stays an eternal world record. So this is thanks to a German athlete called Hahn, UWE Hahn, who by some brilliant everything coming together at the right time threw a javelin which crossed 100 meters. So he actually threw it for 104.8 meters, which was at by that time was such a long throw that people are afraid that it might cross all barriers and it might hurt people. So the entire system came together to redesign the javelin so that it will never go that far ever again. Now already the designs were in place to make it less, but this one throw hastened the process. They changed the design of it so that nobody can throw that far. So that is the eternal world record in javelin, with Hahn of Germany has 104, the only one to have crossed 100 so far.
That's really interesting, because that's one of those records, odd things where the parameters have changed, so you can't really do comparisons as to who's the new world and the old world. Yeah. That's true.
So they after the redesign, they restarted the whole world record.
Yes.
So still, that's why Neeraj, even though it's not 100, it's a world record, is because this is the new system now.
That's true. So, Shai, could you, someone else has shared a couple of interesting facts, but I think it's on the chat.
Yes.
And I would request participants to do press the raise hand icon and share it with us directly.
Somebody did catch on to my drift and realized that why I had brought it up was that person is Neeraj Chopra's coach. And I thought somebody would pick it up, and somebody in the chat did pick it up. Well done.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Well
Very
done. That's perfectly ties everything in together. I think. So good. Sai, should we move on to question
Sure.
2? So question 1, I think that was one real highlight of the year for 2021, Neeraj Chopra. And from that, we move on to movies. So sports, and second question is movies. The Telugu hit Dookudu was remade into Kannada, starring Puneeth Rajkumar. Now, the makers originally wanted to name it something, but that title was already registered and could not be used. Hence, they named the movie Power. What was the original title of that film?
We'll close Pounce in another 15 seconds and go to Ram, who's raised his hand already.
So there is a clue in the question. Do take a read. I think you just need to kind of extend your thinking a little bit.
Interesting guesses so far.
Okay, there's some really funny ones also.
All right. We're closing Pounce in another 3 seconds and going to Ram. If you can hear us, please.
Yes, Ram has raised his hand.
Hello, Dr. J.
Hi, Ram.
Great to see you.
Good to see you too. So what's the answer?
Actually, the Puneeth Rajkumar film is Power. It's called Rajakumara, but it was already registered, so they changed it to Power.
Okay. I don't think that's the right answer, though he did act in a film called Rajakumara. That is true. And I think we had saved that up for a little chat afterwards.
Yes.
So your answer, Raj, is ahead of schedule. So we'll wait for the correct answer. Someone else has raised their hands. AK is.
AK?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, this is Anup here.
Hi, Anup.
Hi. I think it was Power Star. It was renamed Power Star. And Power Star was already registered. So they changed it to Power and probably the star symbol.
Okay, perfect answer there. So you got on to all the clues and mentioned, just extend your thinking a little bit. So Power is Power Star. So of course, this is a dedication to Puneeth Rajkumar, and comments open from any interesting fun facts to share about this. I think there are Power Stars in other languages also. I think there's one Tamil actor also called Power Star.
Yeah, Power Star, Dr. Srinivasan.
Dr. Srinivasan. Yes, of course.
Anybody with fun facts related to Puneeth Rajkumar? I have a personal fun fact to share.
Do tell us, Sai.
I work at a company called Dunzo, and we were the last brand to actually shoot with Puneeth Rajkumar before he passed away. It was basically, he passed away on Friday, and it was just before the Rajyotsava day. So we were actually shooting with him on Wednesday with him. And one of our favorite campaigns with him was where he reprised his father's iconic song called If You Come Today. It's Too Early. It's a very famous, funny English song that Dr. Rajkumar had sung, and he was very sportive about it to, reprise it and give it a modern take. So that's one fun fact for me.
That sounds a rather poignant title for the song, considering what happened shortly after that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think there are a couple of hands raised.
AK, I was the one who answered. Do you have anything more to share? Or anybody else who has? Yeah, Ram has, I think, something to share. Yes.
Yes, Ram, go ahead.
No, sorry. It was my.
Okay.
Okay, so
Please.
the fun, I not about fun, but actually really one real nice fact about him was I had the honor of working with Puneet for a season of Kannadiya Kotiyadipati, which is the Kannada version of Kaun Banega Crorepati. And so he genuinely was the nicest person on the set and came first and came everything. But the very interesting thing is he was very adamant on making sure that the pronunciations of the words which are there on the screen were perfect, right? So he normally, when the host, like in KBC, when the host comes, the English one comes, the question comes, and then the question comes in Kannada as well. But he wanted to have an extra one line which was transliteration, or in a way that it can be broken down to syllables, because some Kannada words are really long, right? And you can't put that in the what ensued was that for the very first time in the history of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which is a worldwide franchise which has the same software running all around the world, they had to incorporate a special transliteration box only for the Kannada version, so that he can get his pronunciation right. And it took about a month or so, and they had to bring in the engineers from Sweden to get that right, and they finally got it. And that's why the Kannadiya Kotiyadipati, the software for that is a special one-off unique version, just because he wanted the pronunciations right.
Oh, that's a lovely story.
Lovely.
Lovely story.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In fact, now that you mention it, Bertie, I just want to add one thing, given that this is a quiz. Puneet Rajkumar actually has hosted 2 quiz shows in his career that we are aware of. One is Family Power, which was a family versus family quiz show. And of course, the Kannada version of KBC as well. I don't know too many actors who have actually hosted 2 quiz shows in their career.
I can't think of any, really.
Yes.
Yeah. I think most of them have done one, I think.
Yes,
Whoever
exactly.
has done it, yeah.
Shah Rukh and Amitabh and everyone else.
Shah Rukh and Amitabh, yes. Even Govinda did one. No?
Oh no, there's the Bengali contingent who's corrected us, Aniruddha, who's saying that Saurabh Ganguly has hosted Dadagiri and KBC Bengali.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Yeah.
SRK, I think
actually,
yes, SRK did that. Are you smarter than a 5th grader? No?
Fifth grader.
Yeah, it was called Kya Aap Panchvi Pass Tez Hai.
Yeah. That is
correct.
But this is a lovely story about Puneet Rajkumar, Bertie. Thank you for sharing that. And Sai, I think one of the answers was Rajakumara. And yesterday we were discussing something interesting about that. Could you share it with us? I think one of your team was discussing that.
Yes. So the idea was that Rajakumara, the movie, was also named after Puneet Rajkumar. And it's one of those rare occasions where an actor acted in a movie that's named after himself in real life. Another interesting fact was that many of us may be aware that Puneet Rajkumar has actually sponsored the education of many children and also taken care of a lot of animals and many other people, right? And the actor Vishal has now taken over the sponsorship of the children that were initially supported by Puneet Rajkumar, which is a fairly interesting fun fact. And of course, Bertie, you were talking about this yesterday.
Yes, so this is Puneet's on-screen debut. As a kid, he shows up in Premada Kanike, which is in 1975. And that's the same year that superstar Rajinikanth also made his debut on screen. So we had 2 amazing actors making their debut in the same year.
Ah, that's nice. A couple of comments, I think, Sai. I think someone had mentioned, I think, about the fact that films with titles which are the actors' names. I think I saw Dara Singh and Johnny Walker also there.
Oh, interesting.
Salim Javed wrote the script, and
for Premada Kanike, yes.
Yeah, Ishita has said that. Raj, has said to continue his father's legacy. Anyone else has raised their hands?
No. Just one fun fact that Ishita has mentioned, that
Yes.
Puneet Rajkumar endorsed Nandini milk brand without charging a single penny. It's very interesting as well.
That's interesting as well. So that was a short. The India Wants to Know tribute to Puneet Kumar. Next question coming up. Question 3. Moving on. These 2 pictures are taken of the same person. The first one was taken in Delhi 22 years ago, and the second one was taken quite recently in Mumbai. What is this person's tryst with a history connecting 22 years and 22 yards?
Interesting guesses coming up. We're going to close pounds in next 10 seconds and move a little quickly after this round. In the meanwhile, if you know the answer to this question, would like to
Let's
interact with the panelists,
Yeah.
please raise your hand. All right, let's go to Appu. After that, we can go to Vinod if you don't have the answer.
Hi.
Hi, Appu. Tell us the answer.
In fact, about Punit Rajkumar is that people love my name in Karnataka.
Well done.
The answer is
that definitely qualifies under a fun fact.
This same cameraman was at the Firuzja Kotla India versus Pakistan match, as well as in Mumbai India versus New Zealand match, where he shot the he got the opportunity to see 10 wickets being taken in an innings.
Oh, that's very, very interesting. And that is the correct answer.
Yeah.
Anil Kumble and Ajaz Patel. So, Bertie, Sukhada, anything else to add here?
Can I add anything?
Sure, please.
Yeah, so there was this person, I forgot his name. He was with his dad in 1953.
Yes.
When during a visit to India, his dad took him to the Firuzja Kot. When he was 10 years old, he was in England, and his dad took him for a cricket match where he saw Jim Laker take 19 wickets in that test match. And then on a business trip, he came to Delhi when he asked the receptionist, "What can we do around here to spend some time?"
Yes.
So the receptionist says, "Sir, there's a cricket match going on." So he was not into cricket that much, but then he said, "Still, let's see this match." And then he saw Anil Kumble take 10 wickets. Now, this
okay.
And that was going to be my fun fact. Well done, preempting that.
So, Bertie, fill in with the name.
Richard Stokes, and also it's 1956, and he was 10 years old when his dad took him, and then he was on a business trip, like Apu clearly said, was in Delhi, and he happened to be there for the second one as well. Richard Stokes.
So I have another fun fact. So he's a short guy, right? And he was initially training to be a fast bowler, and he was influenced by another Patel in his life. So he was influenced by bowler Deepak Patel, who told him to get into spin.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. I don't know whether anyone has actually watched both the Tide tests. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. The famous 2 ties involving Australia, one with India.
Well, there's one person who's actually involved with both. So the first was 1960, second was 1986. There's Bob Simpson. He was player for Australia, and he was a team coach for second.
Yes. That's true. So great. So moving on.
Yeah. Can I share a fun fact?
Yes.
Yeah. This is actually with regards to Anil Kumble's 10-wicket haul.
Yes.
So right before the test match, when the series was announced, there was a lot of political outrage about not letting Pakistan play in India. And I think it was some goons from Shiv Sena and some of the Firuzja Kotla right before the match was supposed to be played. And the curator had to relay the pitch and everything else. And a lot of people were saying because it was dug up, Kumble was able to kind of exploit all the cracks in the stadium to the fullest, which led to the record-breaking 10-wicket haul.
Okay, that's an interesting.
It's
rather like now you're making it sound like all those records at the Mexico Olympics, no? Like Bob Beeman, because of the altitude. A little bit of an assist.
I just wanted to add another fact. Ajaz Patel has actually been dropped from the next match after this. So he's been dropped from the team.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for their next series.
Oh,
interesting.
That's interesting.
This is against Bangladesh that they're playing. They're using their home conditions, so they decided they wanted the all fast bowling lineup, so they've dropped Ajaz Patel.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, that's interesting to hear. Thank you for sharing that. So Sai, shall we move on to
Yes, please.
next question coming up
Yes.
on screen? So
Like most of you said, his
Yeah.
name is Taki Raza. Yeah, next question.
okay, here it comes. So from cricket, where did this Mumbai-based fashion designer's dress, inspired by some elements of Punjab's Fulkari embroidery, gain universal recognition recently? I see a couple of nice correct answers are there.
We're gonna go to people who have raised hands in the next 10 seconds.
Yes.
All right. Closing pounds and going to Ram. Ram, I think also had an interesting fun fact related to the earlier question,
Yes.
but we'll come back to
I
that.
think
Yes.
he sent us a link. Maybe you could look at that afterwards.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. Shall I go to the fact or I'll just go to the answer first?
Answer first, please.
Answer first.
The first one is Harna Sandhu. She's the current Miss Universe from 2021. So this is the fact she got the inspiration for the Fulkari embroidery on it. Sorry, I couldn't get the chance last time. The tugging up scene, it was done in Family Man season 3 this time. The whole India-Pakistan tugging up fact on it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting.
And for the Thai match, my father was there doing the 1988 Thai match. So that was another fact on it.
Ah, that's interesting.
Wow.
I think a lot of people have preserved those tickets for the match, I think, of the famous Thai.
Yeah. I
So-
was not allowed. Thank you so much. That was the
Thank you. Thank you, Ram.
Thank you.
So the answer is up on your screens. This is Saisha Shinde, who designed Harnaz Sandhu's dress in the finals of Miss Universe. And that's the answer we were looking for. Anything interesting people would like to add? Sukhada, do you have anything to say about this?
I think the fun fact is she's already made a debut in some appearances on TV or movies or something like that. So yeah.
So in fact, yesterday I was watching some clips of this since this question came up. I said, I hadn't seen it. So we went and saw it. And I think she's done quite a lot of things, no? I mean,
Yeah.
each time they announced it, they said she's this and she's that. So every time the designation or her achievements kept changing. I thought reasonably impressive, I thought. Yeah, that is good.
Absolutely.
But I really, we were rather taken aback by the mewing sounds. So if all of you have not seen Harna Sandhu mewing, do go ahead on YouTube. It's all there.
Yeah, and there's this big controversy where everybody's like, you shouldn't have asked you to mew on stage.
I know.
for
It
defending
sounded, I don't know what it sounded like. Sort of a silly question, I thought. Yeah. Anyway.
Venugopal Chepuri has an interesting fact. Venugopal,
Sure.
if you can just share, yeah, please.
Venugopal, are you there? Okay. Can you unmute yourself and
I think some people are facing a few technical issues with
issues.
Zoom. They're not able to unmute or send in chat. But anyway, Venugopal has mentioned that Saisha Shinde is India's first trans designer.
Yes.
Actually, with interesting background on Saisha is that her earlier name was actually Swapnil Shinde. So she, earlier she was known very famously in Bollywood for being the designer for many actresses. And this is probably not just India's first trans designer, but also it's probably the first time in the history of Miss Universe or in beauty pageants where the clothes were designed by a trans woman, right? And she's been talking about how it's quite a revelation to see her name change when she signs it now as Saisha Shinde and as for designer clothes versus what it was earlier with Swapnil. So thank you, Venugopal, for that fact.
Ishita has amended her answer and apologized for writing the wrong name, but I think we can give her points for that as well.
Sure. All right, let's move on to round two.
Round two. So round two is going to be straight questions and answers without much of discussion, so that we can get in some questions quickly. And then we move on again to a section where we will have some more chat with our panelists and our audience and the participants as well. Sai, go ahead, round 2.
Yes, please. So this is a slightly unusual quiz round that we started this year with 2 folks from Ahmedabad called Vyom and Bhar, called Mishmash. Essentially, like you see, it's a online game, quiz-based game where we're basically mashing up 2 names. For example, Hansal Mehta and Tararampam. And the answer that we're looking for is Hansal Meh Tararampam, right? Or Malaika Arora and Ravan. So the answer we're looking for is Malaika Aroravan, right? And so on and so forth. So you're going to see clues to 2 questions or 2 facts. You just need to mash up both and give us one single answer. Fairly simple one. Yeah, go ahead, Naveen.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess you got the drift of that. So here are the 2 pictures with areas of it appropriately blanked out. From beginnings that saw me orphaned and displaced during the partition of India, I went on to become the finest athlete India has produced. So put a name there. And then the other part of it is, but nothing compares to the time I danced at the pyramids of Giza and went to Australia to bring back my childhood friend who had become an underworld don and where I accidentally ended up marrying Katrina in the midst of a gunfight. So smash those 2 answers in together and you'll get a 4-word correct answer.
Okay, let's go to Vinod Hariharan. If you can hear us, just can you tell us your guess, please?
Yeah, I was guessing Milka Singh is king.
Okay.
Okay, we'll give it to you. The answer you had given us, Milka Singh, is great, which is what
I
amended.
Yeah, I did.
Someone had written Bhag Milka Bhag, so that was not the right answer. But Milka Singh is king is what we were looking at. I think we can move on to the answer slide and take a couple of comments.
A shout out to Aniruddha Datta, who was the first one. The moment he saw the question, immediately cracked the mishmash there.
Ah, nice. Okay. Some people have a brain for this. I think it's like crosswords.
Yes.
Sukhada, Bertie, anything that you'd like to add for that? Quickly? No. Okay.
No.
Moving on to the next question. So this one is an only connect. So here it is coming up. So Sai, we go after some time, the second picture shows up, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So basically what we're going to do is you get 40 points to be made in this question. So this is an example question that we've used in one of our previous quizzes. We're just showing you how it works. So you get approximately 2 minutes to answer this question. You need to send in your answers on chat for every stage, right? So on the first clue, you get 40 points. So this is Rishi Kapoor in 2008 movie, Katrina Kaif in a 2008 movie, Amitabh Bachchan in 2008 movie, and then finally Akshay Kumar in a 2012 movie, right? And the correct answer is that they all played the character of God in various Hindi movies. So yeah.
So based on that, here comes today's set of Only Connect. So here's the first question coming up. So for those of you who can't read the text on that, it says National Party. It's got an outline map of India there.
We're going to give 20
Just
seconds
about
more.
10,
Please.
15 seconds, and then we'll move on to the next clue. Okay, let's take a look at the second picture. We haven't yet seen the right answer there.
Yes. Interesting guesses so far, but no right answers so far.
Bertie, would you like to read out what's written there in Tamil for the benefit of those?
I think we should do it.
Yeah, it says Unmai Ulaipu Uyarvu, which is
truth,
hard work, and race.
Uyarvu.
Yeah. Escalate. I know. You go ahead.
Shall I move to next clue? Yeah.
Yep.
By the way, if I'm not wrong, the first picture, there's an apostrophe S after the country. So it's technically India's national party.
Heavy on design then. Yeah.
So now someone has stumbled onto parts of the answer,
Yes.
I think, yeah. And we'll have, okay, now the answers are coming in, and let's put up the fourth clue now.
this we thought was the easiest clue for you to crack the connections. We're going to stop pounds in next 10 seconds and go to those who've given us interesting wrong guesses first. So I just want to hear some interesting guesses that people gave. Let's go to Ekalavya's first guess. Yeah, with this, pounds is closed and the question closes now. Ekalavya, if you can hear us, can you tell us your first guess that you give us?
My first guess was fictitious political parties in films, but
Very nice. Can you think of any fictional parties in political parties in films?
I think Rajniti movie had one,
Yes.
and there are others. Yeah.
There must
Even
be quite
Kissa
a few,
Kusu.
actually.
Yeah.
Quite a few. That will make a connect for another time.
Yeah, another time, yes, but that's not the right answer. Did you
Can I
please
take
go.
another guess?
Please.
Is it new political parties started in the last Lok Sabha?
No.
Close.
Yeah, okay, very close, but not quite, right? Let's try someone else, Sai, quickly.
There's
Yes.
one from very long back, unfortunately. The very first one is very old.
Yeah.
Anandita, our good friend who's been facing some technical issues. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, but I'm back in action.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Yes, Anindya.
You were the first person to crack the question, so please go ahead.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Oh wow, I got it from National Party, but I was not sure whether it was Devanand or the political party started by the actors.
That was the
So when
tough one,
the second one came out, I was like,
Devanand.
I'm a huge Dev fan. I'm a huge Dev Saab fan. So National Party of India gave it away for me. But I was waiting if it was Devanand or something else. So I had to wait for the second
Can
one.
you guess the others?
But yes. Okay, so the third clue I know is the political party that Kamal Hassan started. It's called the Makkal Nidhi Mayam or something.
Yes.
And I think second, if I'm not
That
wrong,
was
is
very good Tamil pronunciation, Anindya.
Yeah, well done. Makkal Needhi Mayyam.
I
Well
know.
done.
Yeah, so I know Kunjam Tamil. It's okay. But
I think knowing
But
India
in
wants to know, and Sai sitting there, you brush up on a little bit of Kannada as well. I think
that is the only Dravidian language I know nothing of. So I'll
Hopefully
learn
next one,
from
yeah.
Sai for sure.
So the second one,
Yeah, but
second-
that's second.
I'll give you a
Second,
clue
I
that's,
think, is-
that's supposed to be known as the Baba sign.
Baba symbol.
Baba symbol.
Slightly different from this one.
Okay, I'll give you another clue.
Okay.
This party could have existed, could not have existed, would have started, would not have started. Did he start it? Did he not start it? Was he done?
Rajinikanth's party then.
Yeah.
perhaps.
I think it finally, I think he disbanded it a couple of
Yeah.
months
This
ago.
is the party by Rajnikant then, yeah. That's nonetheless, yeah. But yeah, National Party of India for me was the easiest
Oh,
because
there's a really funny comment.
I remember
from
Devanand.
Akila. For Rajnikant, it's truly Schrodinger's party.
No, I know for sure that Devanand went to jail during emergency with his National Party of India. So that's what I remember, and it was in opposition to the then Congress government started by Indira Gandhi and everything. So yeah, that's there.
For a brief
A
moment,
huge
he had
Devanand
actually
fan.
banned his films and some of his songs on AIR and Doordarshan, etc. Because he wouldn't say something
Yeah, absolutely.
good about Sanjay Gandhi or something. And he did share a stage with Jayaprakash Narayan in 1977, in 78, when just before the elections. But he did
Yeah,
not
and a
join the Janata
small
Party.
recommendation.
And so he started his
Yeah.
own party, which I think it just ran out of steam because not too many people were keen. I think he wanted people like Vijayalakshmi Pandit and Nani Palkiwala to stand as candidates for the National Party. But both declined, and Nani Palkiwala, I believe, said, I don't want to stand for Lok Sabha, but if you want to nominate me for Rajya Sabha, I'd be happy to do that, but that didn't materialize. And therefore, it got
Also, a small recommendation, Doc and Sai.
please.
If someone hasn't read already, please do read Romancing with My Life, which is an autobiography of Devanand, and you learn such amazing facts from there as well. So, yes,
Thank you.
that's a small
Of course, we
recommendation.
left out the big one, which is MGR and the AIADMK. I think that was a really big one as well. And of course, Anna Durai, who in fact started the DMK himself, came from a movie background. He was an actor and a screenwriter for films. before starting the party as well. Right. So moving on to the next question side.
Sure. MGR, yeah, I think Vijaykanth also started a political party in
Vijaykanth
Karnataka.
has a political party running. In fact, for a brief period, I think in Tamil Nadu political history, he was leader of the opposition to Jayalalitha.
Wow.
So that way. Right. So here it comes. Next question. So we are starting round 3 now, isn't it? So we are back
Yes.
to discussions and things.
Yes.
All right.
No, this round will be going through without any fun facts.
Quickly as well. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Who received this NFT as a gift from a tea brand?
Quite a few of
That's
right answers.
instant answering coming up.
Eklavya Sinha, who's a regular at India Wants to Know, seems to be on a first name basis with this person. I think.
Ah, okay.
Let's go to Raghuram.
Raghu. Hi, Raghu. Good morning. Or good afternoon, rather.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hey.
So, Raghu, would you like to come up with the answer to this?
Answer is Parag Agarwal.
Is the right answer. Yes. Anything about him that you know?
No, I'm not sure. So,
Yeah. Apart from the Twitter bit, of course. Yeah. Okay. So, Sai, tell us a little bit about this. I think someone yesterday discussed about this name.
Yeah, Bertie. Yeah.
Bertie, go ahead.
My fun fact is not about Parag Agarwal. My fun fact is about the tea. So this is thanks to my partner getting the tea the other day. We had Kashmiri Kawa. It's really nice. It's got rock salt and all. And while she was doing the tea bit, I was going through the nice pamphlet inside, and they had given things about what the tea is, why it's made, organic and all that. And at the end, there's a small line which says, do you know why it's called Vadam teas?
Ask the participants. Let's ask them.
Which is what, yes.
Okay,
So my
so
question is going to be, do you know the funda behind the name Vadam, Vahdam? That was going to be my question to you guys.
So it's rather, Bertie is rather like those who have a prosperity head can look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Would anyone like to take a guess in participants?
Those who like wordplay. To kill the coffee.
Dark ones.
Murder in Malayalam. Wow. Okay.
Vadam, yeah.
Death by tea.
Or
I have
is
to
it,
say
is it the Tamil word Vadam or something? Like
No, it's not. It's not. It's actually kind of wordplay.
It's a wordplay.
Venugopal Chepuri gets it. So his father's name is Madhav, and it's a reverse of Madhav. That's and at the end he had put that in. This is a reverse of my dad's name, Madhav, and a smiley face. Yes.
Okay. Nice. So thank you. So Parag is the latest in the long line of Indian American CEOs who made it big.
Yes.
I think the whole thing started. There have been people earlier, but I think from 2001. Indra Nooyi and PepsiCo, I think that was the big one, actually. Right.
And the latest one being OnlyFans.com.
OnlyFans. Do tell us.
No, the latest CEO of Indian origin is now the CEO of OnlyFans, Amrapali Gan. And she's also spent a very short time and been able to move up the ladder, so to speak. Okay, next question.
So next question coming up. Let's take a look. Okay, what has been blanked out? You can see that little blue blank there. Blank on November 12th. It's a kind of word play again. It's a word that you would commonly associate with teaser posters like this. It was to highlight what the real Kurup had done. So Venugopal has come up with an answer, but maybe you could improve on that and get it in the right tense. You put it in the past tense. Yes, now we see answers. Someone has helpfully added hitting on, which is quite possible. I haven't seen the film, so.
So let's go to the first person to give us right answer. Ram, once again.
Ram, go ahead.
Yeah, it's instead of coming on November 12th, it's called conning on November 12th. because it
Is
will-
the right answer. That is the right answer. Absolutely. Absolutely.
the fact is that there is a fact that he's still in Siberia, in some Baltic region, in Poland or something. I don't know exact location. He's still alive, and he's still as a mafia or something like that. That's the new fun fact of Sukumara Kurup, a Malayali
Okay.
Lungi Don in Poland. Conning.
But this is just an
I have
urban
a
legend,
small-
right?
yeah.
I'm just clarifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what based on
Myth.
I got my the details all from Quora and other.
Most reliable source. No.
I have a small
Yes,
fact.
Sugata, please.
Yeah. So tell us.
Yeah, so I'm a big etymology fan. So con actually comes from confidence trick. It's a short form of confidence trick.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
con man.
That's so
Con
nice.
man, confidence trickster. Yes.
Yeah.
Bertie also had an interesting one. Actually, if you look at that slide, the previous one, the like you said, you were talking about spacing between letters, and you have two ends and they're a little squashed up next to each other. It look like an M as well. So coming on would also work quite well. In the answer slide, there was
Nice.
it's in this answer slide, the font is correctly done. So whereas in some fonts they're a little too mashed up.
Yeah,
It looked actually like coming on actually with the two ends squashed.
Yeah.
together.
So that thing is called kernel, KERN, kerning.
Yes.
It's very for graphic designers. It's a very important thing because there's a lovely ad that a couple of days back I saw for a I think it was an environmental ad of somebody tossing a cigarette butt, and it shows a picture of somebody tossing a cigarette butt. And okay, I'll tell you the copy says, "Don't be a flicking idiot," FLICKING idiot. But because of kerning problems, or not in this case intentionally, it looks like a very rude way of saying you are a really bad person for flicking your cigarette butt. And that,
So you're
yeah.
referring to the letters L and I being squashed up and looking like another letter altogether.
Yes, exactly. But it only means you're flicking the cigarette butt. That's what they mean.
Like Bertie, you were mentioning yesterday, using the same two letters.
Yeah.
For Clint Eastwood, you said there were a couple of
Yeah, Clint Eastwood has a very
wicked series of posters with his name on it.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood says that my name can be written only with certain fonts, not all fonts, and it has to go through before he okays a poster because his name comes out looking very rude if used the wrong font, which have kerning issues. Yeah.
Wow.
So-
I haven't thought of it that way. Yes.
On that note of kerning, thank you, Bertie. Thank you, Sukada, for that confidence trickster part of it. Moving on to the next question. Here it is. In May 2021, Sunil Harsana, a wildlife and environment activist from Haryana, posted a YouTube video while not realizing the importance of the content in the video until some experts saw it. Sunil said, "I was aware of this from childhood, but didn't know the significance. Until 2016, we had bad cameras. So even if I had photos, no one would understand. Now that it's on the internet, it's got the attention it deserves. What is the important discovery made by him this year?"
Please send in your answers on chat.
Chat, please.
Okay. Venugopal, we're looking for an explanation as to what he showed in these videos. Some people have said greenhouse gas.
Ah, that's interesting. Mangar Bani is someone has got the name of the place, right? That's great.
And closing pounds before going to Ritik, who's given us the right answer. And is the only one to give us the right answer, interestingly.
So
All
let's
right, closing pounds. Yeah,
let's
Ritik.
hear the answer from him.
Ritik, if you can unmute yourself, please.
Hello.
Hey, where are you from? And tell us the answer, please.
I'm from Madhya Pradesh.
Oh, you're from Madhya Pradesh. That's interesting. Okay, Ritik, go ahead. I thought of something else along the way. What's the answer?
Okay, so the answer is basically he discovered the cave painting in the Mangar Bani hills near Faridabad district.
Is the right answer. Absolutely right. So these were the Paleolithic prehistoric cave paintings. I think anywhere between 15,000 to about 100,000 years old.
Yes.
In fact, I think he took the videos and didn't know what it was until someone else from the Archaeological Survey and others pointed out that these were actually very, very, very old.
Yes.
Ritik, I thought it was interesting you're from Madhya Pradesh because there is another place in Madhya Pradesh in the Raisen district named after Bhima. In connection with this question, would you know that place where you would find similarities?
Ritik, if you can hear
Yes,
us.
I have some answers there also coming up now to my supplementary question. Ritik, any idea?
Bhimbetka caves.
Yes, it is the Bhimbetka caves, which actually till now contain the earliest rock paintings, Paleolithic period, but the ones in Mangarbani apparently are even older, possibly. So that's how you get the word Bhimbetka. It's where Bhima apparently rested. So that's how you get the name of that cave. Bertie, Sukhada, anything to add to this?
Yeah, so Andita just mentioned on the chat that it was Bhimbetka was also discovered accidentally, and we just realized this was discovered accidentally. But the most famous cave painting of all time, the earliest Paleolithic, are the Lascaux, Lascaux in France, which was discovered by a dog called Robot, R-O-B-O-T, who went strolling along and fell into a hole, and then the kids decided to rescue, and then they saw this beautiful thing.
Yes.
And I wanted to quickly talk about something. This is a paper which I read just some time back, and it's a fun fact, is that if we are, I mean, okay, this is, as of now, it's a scientific theory, it's a hypothesis. We haven't yet figured out the whole details, but apparently those were the very first 3D paintings. And we're talking about 20,000 years back. The reason being, they realized that all the paintings had multiple edges, as in they had multiple, it was not just a straight line. There'll be 3-4 lines, and they're all next to each other. And people are always wondering why that was so in such certain places where you had multiple borders of the animals and everything else. Then they realized, probably only by accident, is that in those days they were all drawn in front of a fire. So when fire flickers, the air in the back starts moving around. So technically, if you see the painting with the fire in front of you, you can see the painting move. You can have a 3D effect if it has multiple barriers. So those guys already knew about the fact that you could have kind of GIFs on the walls if you had a fire in front of you.
Oh, that's absolutely fascinating.
Very nice.
That's absolutely fascinating.
So one small thing about these paintings. I don't know about Mangarbani, but Bhimbetka has this category called petroglyphs. So petroglyph means you actually remove some of the surface when you're making the painting. So I think that also is in line with what Bertie was saying. So you you incise into the rock, to make this painting.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's really interesting. My only non-Bhimbetka Mangarbani contribution to this video, I was fascinated with the idea. This took a video clip and something momentous was there on the thing. The only thing I thought of, since you were talking about this year, not in India, but in our neighboring country, Myanmar, was that lady doing exercises on the road.
And the coup happened.
On the way and dancing to a nice peppy song, and behind her, ominously, all the trucks are going on the military coup happening behind her. Quite unaware.
Yes.
So let's moving on to another question, maybe.
Yes, please.
How are we for time, Sai?
We are doing very well. We have few more, just a couple more questions to go, and it's 1 o'clock. So we're doing very, very well on time. Just a shout out to the team as well for discovering this fact. Actually, because there was a lot happening this year in the period of May and June. Even the media did not cover this extensively. So just like the way how Sunil just uploaded a YouTube video and some archaeologists randomly discovered it. The same way, I think a lot of media also did not necessarily cover this, but this could be one of the most important discoveries in the world. So they're in the process of carbon dating this, but if it's most likely is the oldest cave painting found in India, along with tools and other things. But It could also be one of the oldest ones in the world as well. Great. Let's go on next.
Can I quickly just say something
Please.
about just talking about this? So I want to talk about Stuart Little and the painting. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Stuart Little.
Yeah, the movie Stuart Little, which has Hugh Laurie in it, right?
Yeah.
And also Stuart Little. So there's a story of okay, I quickly Google so I can get the names right. Gurgly Barkey, BRKI. He's a researcher at the Hungarian National Gallery, and in 2009 was with his young daughter, and whose young daughter was like, "I have to watch this movie. I have to watch this movie." And he's like, "Okay, fine, put the movie on," and it was Stuart Little, the movie. It goes on, and suddenly he realizes that in the middle, in one scene behind Hugh Laurie, there's a painting called "Sleeping Lady with a Black Vase." And he quickly goes, pauses the movie, and he's like, wait, this can't be happening. And he realizes that he's discovered a lost painting from 1928, which was now in a 1999 children's movie as a prop. And he goes, searches for it, gets the prop guy, gets it out. They finally get it out, and he takes it back to Hungary, does all the testing and all. And finally, in an auction, their family who bought it for $500, they finally sold it for, 2 million, 3 million at an auction. And he found it because he saw Stuart Little sitting with his daughter.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's another great story with this, to pair up with this question. Sai, this is a bit like cheese and wine. You put the questions and we'll do the matching interesting bits. Here comes the next question, folks. And this is it. A certain cricket franchise has not tampered with the color and design of their iconic jersey since the inception of this particular league. But in the 2021 edition, they decided to make a somewhat small change that wasn't perceived so well by all the fans. Some fans felt that this team was using X to improve their tarnished image. Identify the team.
Identify the team and also tell us what is new about, or what is the X part of their jersey.
So Vinod has cottoned on to what we are talking about roughly, but got the wrong team. So would you like to try again, Vinod?
Others can also just send him. Okay, now the message is coming in.
Here we go. Eklavya, I think, has answered it correctly.
Hi, Eklavya, can you hear us? Yeah. If you can unmute yourself, please. Yeah.
Hey, yes, I
Hi,
think
Eklavya, go ahead.
this was camouflage addition to CSK jersey. I think they put
Yes.
it on their shoulders as a tribute to armed forces.
Maybe we should look at a picture of that, maybe, Sai.
Yes.
And here it is, Eklavya, for you. That's the camouflage on the shoulder. The shoulder pads are been. So this is Chennai Super Kings adding camo to their jersey to honor the Indian Army. So Sai, whoever set this question, hats off to them. A lot of appreciative comments on the chat for them. So
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. This is a lovely question. Great visual. So we have a few nice gems in between all this. Yes.
So I think when CSK released, there was a lot of controversy on social media where people felt that this was being done to, cover up for their tarnished image in the last few years. Otherwise, they have not really changed the jersey at all since Dhoni's come in. Interesting wrong guesses were Kings 11 Punjab jersey, RCB, Rajasthan Royals. I think that was a tarnished image. Suddenly people went for
yes,
either RCB or Rajasthan Royals. MPL T20 jersey for India, Australian jersey. Australia is another interesting. Anjuta shared a fun fact actually. RCB is the only team with a different color jersey, a green jersey and a blue jersey.
Okay. Someone else has raised their hands, if I'm not mistaken. I think Ram.
Yeah. Ram, can you hear us?
Hello, Dr. Naveen. Hi, sir.
Hi, Ram. Go ahead.
The fact is that actually CSK first it was owned by Gurunath, MS Gurunath.
Yes.
So he comes from another great family from AVM. MB Guru, he's Mr. Balasubramaniam's son and
Yes.
AVM Ayappa Chettiar's.
AVM Studios, yes.
Yeah. So I think that is also a reason that they stopped making movies. That is also a tarnished image of Mr.
And there's this comment by Akhila, very American style pairing of military and oil. So for those interested in the history of camouflage, please do check out this term called frog skin. So which is a camouflage pattern that the US military was commissioned with, and that to halt it because it was seeming too similar to what a German unit was wearing. So that to stop that pattern of camouflage.
Oh, that's
Lovely.
That's
Very nice.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, but a quick thing, okay.
Please.
In my school, nowadays, just few days back, they had a small party or something like that, and they were like, okay, somebody, dress up in different camouflage or something. One guy showed up with a big photo of John Cena. Okay, now none of the teachers got it. Okay, and obviously there are lots of people who won't get it, but there are a few people who did get it, and I think already people on the chat are getting it. So although in public there was this one guy wearing a John Cena t-shirt and everybody else wearing actual camouflage, they actually gave him an award for best camouflage, and some people could not understand what was going on. It was quite controversial, but I thought very funny.
So for noobs like us, Bertie, you may want to explain what you mean by that.
So John Cena,
like
the wrestler, has this very iconic thing of "You can't see me."
Can't see me.
And there's an internet meme where anywhere there's a picture of John Cena, people like, I can't see anything. How is that cup standing by itself? How is that person in the mid? So you can't see John Cena. That's the concept.
Oh, thank you.
And nice fact by Anandita, RCB has saved jersey number 12 as a tribute to their fans.
Oh, nice.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
Anandita, I think
RCB.
you raised a hand.
It's
Sorry, go
all
ahead.
right. Yeah, so I read somewhere that Chris Gayle, after he retired and everything, they wanted to save the jersey number 12 for the fans only. I mean, that's a very big step in terms of because IPL is mostly a fan-based game. Then so having a jersey especially for the fans was a big step, and yes, they did so.
That's very thoughtful.
Wonderful
I would
comment.
say, Anindya.
Yeah.
Sai, next question. Shall we go on?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Right. So round 4 coming up. In February 21, Oxford Languages chose this as the Hindi word of the year for 2020, since the team saw a significant increase in its usage following the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's address to the nation in May 2020. Which word? I think everyone's shot off the mark quickly, immediately. No, it's not Mitron. How serious was that answer? I don't know, but anyway. So to all my Mitrons out there, please come up with another answer. It's not Mitron.
There's only one correct answer, it looks like, but let's go to somebody who's not answered so far. Aniruddha, who's given us a great answer. Yes.
Yeah, let's have someone answering. Aniruddha, hi. Yeah.
Yes.
I think the word was Atmanirbharta or Atmanirbhar.
Is the right answer. What does it mean, Aniruddha?
You're self-dependent, or you're
Self-dependence. Okay. Yes, that is right. Atmanirbhar or Atmanirbharta is fine, and that's the answer that we were looking for. To be self-sufficient. Being self-sufficient, I think in India, I think the earliest, probably we look at it politically, was just during the partition of Bengal in 1903 when the Swadeshi movement started. So I think Swadeshi, that would be one of the earliest self-sufficient or self-determination kind of a thing that would have come about. Yes, so.
Great. We are moving to the last question of today's quiz. Before we get there, just want to once again
before we know what's happening, it's come to an end, like all good things. So don't outstay our welcome. So before that, we go to the last question. Sai, let me just thank Bertie and Sukhada for coming up with such wonderful stories that really adds the garnish to this quiz. Wonderful. And all of you chipped in with funny answers, right answers, slightly wrong ones as well. That doesn't matter. But glad that we just got together for this one last hooray for the year. Sai, let's Yes.
And of course,
You
goes
wanted to
without
say something. Yeah.
Yes, no, I just wanted to thank Dr. Naveen for hosting today's quiz. I know you have a fairly busy schedule, but thank you so much for doing this. Honestly, India Wants to Know was built by a group of friends who liked quizzing and enjoyed quizzing. But our favorite quiz to go to every year in different cities also was the landmark quiz, Naveen. And you've really like set the path for us in terms of the quality of questions, the way to host it. All the stories that we've heard in every landmark quiz. I'm sure participants will relate to that. Thank you so much for doing this. A big shout out to the team at India Wants to Know. This year we've been doing very interesting things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's a large team. Not everyone is on the call right now because we are working on it all night and the entire week. But big shout out to the entire team. We've done some interesting things this year by hosting quizzes for people in other countries, people in different languages. Doing game shows and of course the regular quizzing as well. And yeah, thanks to everyone who's a part of India Wants to Know in some way, participate in our quizzes, follow our social media accounts, or just send us nice cute messages like you like this question. Thank you so much for doing this as well.
And,
okay.
One final question coming up.
One file before that, I just want to highlight the scores right now. AK is leading the quiz with 80 points, followed closely by a bunch of people who are tied at 70. There's Venugopal, Aniruddha Datta, Anandita, Ishita or Raj, who's also formerly known as Ishita, and multiple other people with 50 and others. But this is the score right now, and now we'll move to the last question, and which is honestly one of our favorite questions of today's quiz.
Oh, great. Let's look at that. Right. So Mohinder Amarnath plays a cameo in the film 1983. Which real-life character did he portray? I think we need a full answer, not just like quizzes, just the last name. Yeah. So that itself is a clue. Great. So we have a lot of correct answers coming in.
Okay, let's go to
Charchita,
Charchita, who sent us the right answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Charchita, please. Yeah.
So it was his father, Lala Amarnath, basically.
Is the answer. That was indeed his father, Lala Amarnath. That's Lala Amarnath.
Yeah.
Nice.
Interesting fun fact is that quite a few of
the way he looks, though. I mean, it's great, great visual. Great. Go ahead. Sai,
no, interesting fun fact to share is that actually, let me ask the participants, right?
Yeah.
There were quite a few people who played their own fathers in the movie 83. So Lala Amarnath being played by Mohinder Amarnath is obviously, son playing the father. Right. There are others as well. Does anyone want to take a guess?
I think there are a couple of names come up there.
Sandeep Patil.
Yes. Sandeep Patil, Chirag Patil playing Sandeep Patil is one. Rahul is also mentioned, interesting name. Malcolm Marshall's son plays Malcolm Marshall, right, in the movie.
I think, yeah, Mali Marshall.
Mali Marshall, that's right.
Nice.
All right.
This is it. Lloyd's son played Garner. There's another.
Oh.
Yeah. From Rahul Bhaskar. That's and Eklavya has one wish for the year. Would love to see Saif Ali Khan play Pataudi someday. So on that very hopeful note, I think we can. Neena Gupta played Kapil Dev's mother and was Viv Richards. All not together, I'm sure, and was Viv Richards' partner too. Okay.
Kapil himself comes in one of the scenes, if anybody noticed.
Yeah.
Some of us have not watched the movie yet.
So Rahul has mentioned Chandrapal's son Gomes as well. Right, you had a lot of interesting extra pointers. And Ekalavya said, no spoilers, please. So very quickly on that. Ekalavya, we accede to your wish and bring this quiz to an end. And I hand it over to Sai to do the honors.
Yes. Thank you once again, everyone. Like we said, this is the last quiz of the year. Hope you've enjoyed India Wants to Know's open quizzes. Thank you so much, Bertie, Sukhada. It was great fun doing this quiz with you. We managed to finish much earlier than what we usually do, which is 90 minutes. Thanks once again to participants and, of course, Dr. Naveen. I wish you, again, a belated Merry Christmas to everyone and a very, very happy and a safe New Year.
Also, Sai,
To all of you.
Yes.
also Sai, I think with 83, Deepika Padukone, debuts as a producer of the film, right?
Oh.
So she's one of the producers. There are like about 10 producers of the film, and Deepika is one of them.
That's interesting.
They needed a cricket team to produce it.
Exactly. It was almost like that. One more and it's a cricket team. And there are 2 cricket movies, in fact, that's coming this year. 83 is one of them, and Josie is the second, which is of course a remake of a film. But Shahid Kapoor and Josie is the second film in cricket that's coming that year. Yes, of course.
I think it was one of those moments in Indian cricket which clearly marks, before 83 and after 83.
Absolutely. I think, we were just talking last night.
Thing,
Yeah. So we were talking with my father last night, and he said 1980 was the last time when India won something at hockey, right? And then we did not win something for a long, long time. So in 83, it was a big break that came. Ki acha, India aur kuch kar sakta hai hockey ke beyond. They can go beyond hockey, perhaps, And it was a big, big revelation that yes, we can do something in world sports. And
you ask your father also, he may have a memory, right? See, we always sometimes
he was an officer.
Events with what we were doing at that time. It's like those famous thing in US. What we were doing when Kennedy was assassinated.
Yes, absolutely.
It's that kind of a thing. Or I do remember when what I was doing when Indira Gandhi was assassinated or Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated. All those not very good bits of news, but I do clearly remember what I was doing when India won the World Cup that evening. Because unfortunately, I think it was 83. I was studying for a final MBBS exam in June, and the exam was in December, Jan something. So I'd gone to the British Council Library in Calcutta. So I was mugging, and I came home at 6 o'clock in the evening and found that the world had kind of changed, and my father was having a party, and there's a couple of drinks open, and his friend who was initially sitting on the chair had now slumped down to the floor, and they had a good time, which I missed most of. But
so as a 90s kid, I was minus 9 years old.
People of that certain generation will remember what they were doing when India won.
Yeah, I said I was minus 9 years of age, so I remember the 2011
all of you,
World Cup.
I think I'm the only one qualified to talk.
I remember the 2011 World Cup for sure. I mean, I almost gave up my exam that day and watched the finals. So yes.
One of those things. So on that happy note, Sai, I think good memories. I think let's quickly put 2021 behind us and move forward.
Thank you so much, Naveen.
Thank you.
I love the image that we left with, that while India was winning the World Cup in 1983, Dr. Naveen was in the British Council Library. It's such a happy
what to do.
Perfect.
It's a nice image.
I didn't have much hope. This kind of thing, India. I said, let me go and do some studying and come back after 3-4 hours, kind of a thing. And
lovely idea, but
I didn't know the world kind of rotated quite a bit behind my back.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
See you next year.
Stay safe.
Happy New Year.
Thank you all. Happy New Year.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.